have scoured the internet for hours. I have asked every possible question. I have pulled all my AI resources together. I've spoken to other small businesses, and I have found the top questions that are asked when it comes to anything and everything about DTF transfers, and I am here to answer all of them right now. So if these questions have been asked by you, or you have even researched them yourself, don't have to look any longer. I'm going to answer them all for you. And if you are like, who is this person? Why does she have like the credentials or whatever to do this? Hi, my name is Mick. I am the owner and the head of production at amstransfers.com. We do everything in the transfer world: screen print transfers, DTF transfers, UV DTF, all of it, you name it, we got it. So I kind of have just a little bit of experience, like 5 years under my belt for this. So I do know what I am talking about. I have seen everything. So let's just hop straight into it and get these questions rolling. So let's just jump straight into the basics, and that is, what is a DTF transfer? A DTF transfer is a type of transfer that is printed using a DTF printer like the one you see behind me. It is made with CMYK as well as white ink. And basically the design is uploaded to the printer. It is printed digitally. There's then a white layer placed over the design, and then a powder adhesive that is later applied to the design. That powder adhesive is what is going to allow your transfer to stick to your garment. The next question that is most searched is, are DTF transfers durable? And yes, if they are made properly. So with these printers, it does come with a heating element, and it comes with obviously a printer head, and you do need your settings to be very tuned in. You need the temperature. It's going to vary based on the film. It's going to vary based on what printer you have, but it does need to be set at a certain settings in order to be cured properly. You don't want it going through too fast. You don't want it going too slow, because then you'll burn it. But all of these factors do come into play when you talk about the durability. So make sure that you are ordering from a quality supplier like AMS Transfers, where we have those settings tuned in to a T to make sure that you are getting high quality as well as perfect, smooth, buttery transfers. The next question, kind of along those same lines, is, are DTF transfers vinyl? And no, they are not. They are made using two completely different machines. So vinyl is typically going to be made with a Cricut or some kind of machine like that has cutting involved. You also have to weed. A DTF transfer, there is none of that involved. It's basically you get the transfer sent to you, or you get it printed, and then it is ready to go right then and there. Are DTF transfers soft? Yes. So basically that goes kind of into what I was saying about the durability. You do have to have your settings tuned in just right. If you have too much white on that back layer, it's going to feel a little bit more plasticky. If you have a little bit of a less white layer, that will cause more of a smooth feeling that feels more like it's in the shirt itself. You also want to make sure, if you have a like big block design, so if you're basically printing a huge square, that is going to feel a little bit thicker on a shirt, rather than if you had a design that has a bunch of like holes or a bunch of like little gaps, whether that's in lettering or designs. So it does depend on the design, but as long as those settings are tuned in, and as long as your design isn't something, a huge block, solid block, then you can make sure that your DTF transfers are buttery smooth. Are DTF transfers good? This was a question that was asked, and I personally would say yes. Again, it does depend on the supplier you get. There are sucky suppliers out there, guys. We're not all the same. The printing method is not all the same. You do need to make sure you are ordering from someone who knows what they're doing, because you can get crappy prints. You can get prints that don't look good. They don't look clean. They don't look sharp. They have white outlines. So you do want to make sure that you're getting it from a good supplier, but also on top of it that you have 300 DPI artwork, uploaded the highest quality that you can, because that helps us on our end to make sure that you guys are getting the best results possible. So in short answer, yes, DTF transfers are very good. You can offer typically a lot of different designs, a lot of different sizes for a low cost, because there's no setup, unlike screen print transfers, when it comes to DTF transfers. Are DTF transfers dishwasher safe? So no, you typically can't set, since a DTF transfer typically goes on a fabric, you will not be able to put that in the dishwasher. If they go in the washer machine, yes, they are safe. If you're talking about more on glass or tumblers or plates or something like that, that is going to be UV DTF. That is, we do recommend hand washing, but I mean, I've thrown my UV DTF in the dishwasher plenty of times and it is still sticking together. That is for UV, not DTF transfers. DTF transfers can go in the dish or in the washing machine though. Can DTF transfers be layered? I think this was such a cool and unique question to find because it's something that I think a lot of people don't think about, and yes, they actually can. I've seen a lot of people that order like all white designs and then like white lettering, but then they'll order one word that's in like red, and my assumption is that they're going to basically put that on the back or front of a tee and then put that white or that red one as well, or you can layer it on top. So yes, they can be layered. Just make sure that you are ordering the right sizes for everything lines up together and it all goes like cohesively together, if that makes sense. But yes, they can be layered. Can DTF transfers be ironed on? So this was something that if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have said no. But we have had customers that have tried it. They wanted to just try DTF transfers, so they try it out and they say it works. I personally don't think that it will last longer as if you apply it on with a heat press or some sort of different heating element, but I think to get it to stick, yes, it can be used with an iron, but if you're looking for like a long-lasting wear, multiple washes, I probably wouldn't recommend using a handheld iron. Can DTF transfers be removed? Guys, this was something that I looked up myself one time, so this might have been me, because I did place it on the wrong spot when it was like supposed to be a sleeve. I put it on the left chest and I researched, and no, it cannot be removed. Can DTF transfers go on any material? Yes, they can. Of course, there are some that it is going to really love and stick to, but in general, yes, it can go on every single material as long as you have a heating element for that material. Kind of along those same lines, can DTF transfers go on wood? And this is actually a very funny question to ask because we actually tested that, and I'm going to insert some clips and some outcomes of what it looked like. Guys, it's stuck. It's somewhere around here in the shop. I wish I had it and held it up, but I think we threw it out. Yes, they can go on. Next question is, how do DTF transfers work? That is a great question. So like I was saying, if you're talking about how DTF transfers are made, they are going to be made using a printer like this. So like I said, we print it, we send it to you. You will need a heating element to place it on to the garment, but basically it's pretty simple. You just place it on the location on the garment that you want it, you heat press it, we send you the instructions, we send you everything, all that information that you need to know, and lift it up and it's done. Really can be done in literally 15 seconds. How to make DTF transfers? I think this is probably one of the most common questions I get asked myself, as well as a lot of other DTF transfer vendors. And really, guys, it takes years of learning, trial and error. We've had 4 printers now for over a year, and we started with our first one over 2.5 years ago. So a lot of learning goes into it, but basically we just upload it using a software to the printer, and the printer takes it from there, and we just have to make sure that we have all our settings dialed in. We have to make sure your artwork is right, but when it comes to the actual printing of transfers, it does require a nice DTF transfer. That's why, or a printer, that is why we recommend just outsourcing your prints. It's much easier, saves you a lot of headaches. How to apply or press DTF transfers. So like I said, we will send you all the instructions that you will need to make sure that your prints are applied properly. As long as you follow those instructions, it's perfect. For us, we use instant peel, so we send you all, again, instructions are in every single order, but and as well as instructions, there's actually videos, a QR code. It's going to send you some videos. You can watch those as well. But basically how it works is you just line it up, set your heat press to the temperature we recommend, push it down, 15 seconds, up, peel. Because with the instant peel, you don't have to wait. So it's ready to come up. Basically when it lifts off the heat press, you can see that the film starts to come up on its own. instant peel. What can DTF transfers be used on? So DTF transfers can basically be used on anything. If you need a canvas bag for grocery shopping, whatever, a backpack for school, if you need a jean jacket for a concert, you need a graduation gown, you want to do something cool like that, it can be applied to any fabric. You just need to make sure that you have that proper heat press or heating element, and you need to make sure that your design itself is sized to what you need it to be. So really anything fabric and wood, I guess I should say, because anything, I think a better way to word it is anything that can take heat. So plastic, you are going to want to use a UV DTF because you can't heat plastic, but if you can heat it and it can withstand the heat of a heat press or the desired heating temperature, then it can be applied. Where to buy or order DTF transfers? amstransfers.com. Easy as that, guys. We literally have a gang sheet builder. We have a Design Gen, which is a AI used tool that you basically chat with AI and it creates the design for you. You don't even have it to design there. If that is too much for you and you're like, I don't want to chat with AI. Designs selected, like pre-made ones. We also have ones that you can edit yourself and add like your sports team, your family name in there. So amstransfers.com, perfect place. Again, we ship out, guys, same day before 3 p.m. How to design DTF transfers. Again, I'm loving these questions. So like I was just saying in the last question, if you don't have any idea like where to even begin, Design Gen is the perfect tool to use. Basically, you can just get in there and start typing, I need a design for my volleyball team, I need a design for my football team, I need a design for my son's graduation, my family trip, whatever, and it's going to respond back to you with some ideas, ask you for some colors, if you want to know any text, anything like that, and then you will also be able to edit what you want to edit on that design. So it's super simple, guys. Literally, you just need to be able to form words to express what kind of design you want. But again, if that is too much, we do have editable templates on our website, but it is basically, you can just go on there, type in the edits that you want to make, whether that's like Smith family vacation or whether that's the Eagles sports team, whatever it is, you can edit all of that right on the website. So you don't even have to have a design, but if you do have a design, you just have to upload it to a gang sheet builder. That easy, guys. We literally try to make it as easy as possible for you from step one. Who can print DTF transfers? Anyone. As long as you have like a good printer and you have patience, guys, you gotta have patience for these things, I'm telling you. As long as you have that, you are set to go. But really, anyone. You don't have to have a special degree. You don't have to have a special certificate. There's nothing that says that you have to have something specific in order to print DTF transfers. But like I said, you do need to have patience. You do need to have a little bit of an eye for, I want to say perfectionism, but something like eye for detail, because you do need to be able to catch any little color change or any little anything, guys. A couple months ago, we had a small, when I say small, it was like minuscule drop of black ink go into one of our ink tanks. It was the yellow one, and it changed all of the yellow ink. And that just came from me refilling the ink tank, and I didn't even notice it until it was printing, and it was printing a black design, or it was printing like black streaks, or it had like a golden yellow more than a like super bright yellow. So I had to end up cleaning out the whole tank and all of that. Again, it was, you just have to have an eye for that, and that was something that I didn't catch. I typically catch them very early now. I'm able to kind of see it, but you do have to have an eye kind of for detail and making sure that you get the proper, you know, you got to make sure you can catch everything. Can I convert any printer to a DTF printer? You can. Would I recommend it? No. And that's coming from someone who researched every DTF printer known to mankind. If you are wanting to have a DTF transfer business, you really, and like you want it to actually succeed, you really need to just take the steps in either investing in a DTF printer or partnering with someone like us. We do AMS Transfers Plus, where we are basically a print on demand when it comes to DTF transfers for you. So we give you a website, we give you everything that you need to get started. But I wouldn't say, if you're trying to actually start a DTF transfer brand, that you jump straight to converting, because I have heard people say yes, like my converted printer works great, I have it, and then literally 3 weeks later it's like I went on vacation for a week, now I can't get this clog out. So if you want to deal with that, that's fine. If you are actually trying to build a brand or trying to take the next steps into the DTF transfer world, I wouldn't recommend converting a printer. Can I use Canva for DTF transfers? Yeah, so Canva is a great place also to find, whether that's designs, you can edit a lot of logos, you can edit a bunch of different things on there. So Canva I think is great. You can also, if you have the Pro, you can get transparent backgrounds and you can get high PNG files. Those are perfect for DTF printing. So I do think Canva is a great tool. It is one that we recommend to a lot of our customers if they're beginners or they don't know how to use gang sheets. You can just go make one on there. Can I do DTF with my Cricut? No. No, you cannot. Cricut is strictly for vinyl and like stickers, I believe. So no, you cannot do DTF transfers with your Cricut. I'm sorry. What is the lifespan of a DTF transfer? So like I say, guys, it really comes down to the quality of the printer you are using and the supplier you are using. I have DTF transfers and t-shirts that I have made back in like 2022 when we first got printer number 1, or was it 2023, one of those years. And it has not faded, it has not cracked, it is perfect, and it's been washed multiple times. The durability of them and are they going to last, I would say if you are getting them from a supplier that cares and a supplier that actually takes time, yes, they will last you a while. What are the disadvantages of DTF transfers? This one is again an interesting one. So I think that the biggest disadvantage for a DTF transfer is probably back to what I was saying about the feel of them. Nothing's going to beat screen printing directly onto the garment itself. Like screen print transfers won't beat that, as well as like actually like DTF transfers. But if you are dealing with like a big solid white block design, that is going to feel plasticky on a garment. It just is. If you're dealing with a design that kind of has more holes, more gaps in it, it is great, but you can't really do the big, super big design without kind of feeling the print at some point, if that makes sense. So I would say that is the biggest disadvantage to DTF transfers. Other than that, I really wouldn't say that there's any disadvantage or something from like another transfer or a different type of printing method that you can't get with a DTF transfer, but that would probably be the biggest one. How long can you store DTF transfers? If you guys have seen my vlogs, then you know in our shipping station in the back we have bins, or we have shelving units full of transfers. Guys, some of those transfers have been in there since December of 2023 and they are perfect still. So if you are storing them correctly, again, you can't store them in a super humid environment because that will make the transfer moist. It'll make it kind of rise up on the film, and the film, you don't want the film to be moist to begin with. But if you're storing it properly and it's made properly, then yes, it can work great. That is why, I mean, you guys will see humidifiers in our warehouse. One, we don't ever use the prints that have humidify. Like if our humidifiers are left on, I like to run the film through a little bit, because the film that sits in with humidifiers will typically get damp and that can cause issues. But in regards to like storing them properly, you can't go wrong. You just don't want them to be in a super humid place. So don't put them like in your garage and leave them there for long periods of time. Make sure that they're stored somewhere cool and they will last you for like ever. You can keep them truly forever. DTF transfers for hats. This was just basically a generic one that people had researched. They just wanted to know if they could find DTF transfers for hats. Yeah, you just have to size them properly to the hats, and you order them the same way that you can order any other DTF transfer. Just make sure that they're sized properly, but there isn't anything special that goes into DTF transfers specifically for hat. Are DTF transfers cold peel? So again, there are kind of a bunch of different types of film. There's usually an instant peel, there's a hot peel, and there is a cold peel. I think there's also like a warm peel, but it's whatever. Instant peel, you can peel it right when it's done. That is what we use. We love it. We came from cold peel. That is typically like where people start. Instant peel has truly changed. When we first started DTF printing, instant peel wasn't what it was now. It was a lot of issues and a lot of problems, but I think that the manufacturers have really dialed in that instant peel, and it's like perfect now. So there is hot peel and cold peel. I personally don't think that there's any difference in, besides like saving time. If you're doing a 500 t-shirt order, yeah, those like 30 seconds that you're saving to letting a transfer cool down does save you time in the long run. But in regards to like feeling or anything like that, some people like actually cold peel better because they like the feel of it and they find that it kind of sinks into the shirt more with those like seconds of it cooling. But I think overall, there's no real big difference. If you're looking more on the time saving aspect, I definitely would say instant peel is much better. Are DTF transfers better than sublimation? I think that everything has its place. I actually did a video on this a little bit more in depth a couple weeks ago, so make sure you guys go watch that. But I do think that in terms of garments, there is a lot less restriction when it comes to a DTF transfer. So I think that that in itself is a much bigger pro in the pro list of DTF transfers. But when you're talking about apparel printing, I definitely think that DTF has a higher up than sublimation, just because sublimation requires certain fabrics and materials to actually stick. So I would say that DTF is on that scale for apparel much better than sublimation. How to make DTF transfer gang sheet. This was another one that was searched a lot, and it's one that I get asked as well. I've made a whole video on it, but there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can do it through Canva if that's something you want to do. You can make it in Photoshop. We took it a step further on our gang sheet builder. So we have our traditional gang sheet builder that I've shown in the past that you can just upload your design, copy and paste it. But we've also done one called Gangsy. You guys can try it out at the link in my bio. Basically, you just upload your design and Gangsy, you put in how many you need for that, and Gangsy builds it for you. There's no questions asked. That is as simple as it can get when it comes to gang sheet builders, unless we like think of a way to do it with our heads. Like I can just think it and it happens. Uploading it and doing that directly is truly just like, it's mind-blowing. You guys have been loving it. We've heard a lot of great feedback on it, so make sure you guys try it out. But I would say that gang sheet builders on DTF transfer sites are great, as well as Canva if that is just basically how you want to create it. A lot of Canva pros out there just like to use Canva, and hey, that's a great way to make it. But guys, that is actually going to wrap up today's video. These were the top DTF questions that are asked on Google, ChatGPT, other DTF transfer businesses that people want to know. So hopefully your questions were answered in here. If they weren't, feel free to leave them in the comments and I would be more than happy to answer them there. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow for my next video.
This is what hustle looks like when it's fake.